esports, where there are tense moments and hype situations where you in your own immediate environment feel the excitement, but the Classic was something else. It was electric.
'Cause we are the outlaws.
I'm back.
It was a lot of fun. That's definitely the most people I've ever played Rocket League in front of. I've been to LANs before, but most of them, you know, I didn't get up on stage for the finals, so it's just, you're in person, but you don't have a crowd like that, so it was crazy. We were all joking to ourselves that the second we got on stage, all of our mechanics disappeared. It's such a weird experience to be up there, but really, really fun. I definitely feel like I fed off the energy and had a really good time.
Classic was amazing, for the league team especially. In Conquer as a whole, it was pretty good. We won 3-1. The league team dominated, the Smash team dominated, and the Rocket League team dominated. So all three teams that won were in a dominant fashion. So I'd say it went pretty good.
Cool to see a lot of our teams do really, really well. The Fortnite team, it's unfortunate that we lost, but we were up against a pro player. He was very good. And I think it'll be a good learning experience. I mean, also considering that it was mine and Jesus's first game together, and we had only been practicing for 4 weeks prior. I'm very proud about how our team went and how the other teams did.
Playing with the crowd in front of you is pretty exhilarating, honestly, because you just feed off that energy. Like, even though when in league there's a 3-minute delay, like for them to be cheering you on just keeps you motivated to stay on task and stay focused. So I would say playing in front of a crowd is it's really fun.
Just the energy is so crazy. It just makes you so excited to be competing. Like, all that, I don't know, I guess sometimes esports feels really different from a real sport. It almost feels more like chess, where you're just sitting there quietly, but once we were in front of a crowd, it was every bit as electrifying as playing a soccer game or anything else.
My favorite moments would be probably either where I hit a 1v2 or Jesus hit a 1v2, and the excitement that came after that, hearing the crowd cheer, the spirit sticks banging, you know, the cowbells ringing. It was a really cool experience to hear everybody in the audience give us their support.
Well, WV Tech banned one of my champs that I played like twice, so that was kind of funny. But another moment was definitely when our coach, Sig, came down the stairs. He was so excited that we had won. He hugged everybody. It was a really cool moment.
Being at the event was amazing. We obviously won 3-1, which is insane to me. We did insanely well there at the event. Even that last game that we did lose was super close. I'm very proud of our young Fortnite team and how they performed there at the event. Well, I would say it was just overall just insane to see that Conquer Esports is able to now produce stuff to that level, and I'm very proud of that fact that we're able to produce stuff to that level.
The Cold Pit Classic was just about everything I imagined. The Cold Pit Classic made me feel like we're this close. There were a few issues and there were a few things that didn't go the way we expected, but I mean, we're this close to in-person esports like we talked about, like we always envisioned.
It would be hard to pick between two. Either when our Rocket League team went up and performed and was just going full Rocket League mode, and they had their engines all going and they all were on the same page and just scoring goals one after another and having fun and joking around with each other on stage. Or when our freshman League of Legends team went up there and just absolutely dominated the other team there. And that was supposed to be a close game, and that game was not even close at all throughout the whole league match. Our League of Legends team, which was supposed to be a close match, just came out swinging and won that game in like a defiant fashion.
I was casting the League of Legends match, and I couldn't hear the crowd that well. I could hear when I'd yell, you know, make some noise or something like that. But we reach the point where we're taking the Nexus, winning the game, and my voice just goes out. My voice is cracking because I'm so excited. I'm so proud of the team for getting the W. That's just gonna stick with me for a while.
It's cool to see that, like, as we've expanded as a program, like, that space is getting used well now. Like, we had like maybe 3 people in there ever. It's cool to see that space getting used. I like the break room a lot better. I think it's good that, sorry, that's going out weird. I think the break room looks really nice. I like the storage a lot better, which I guess is kind of a weird thing to think is cool, but I don't know, it just feels more orderly. Things feel more put together, and it's like, you know, as time goes, and it's happening, it's good. It's like you can see the growth of the program, even if you just come and look around, it's like, this looks nice. The arena, I guess if that counts as part of the arena looks great. Like all the graphic work, I like the stuff on the door, the stuff on the windows, the banners hung in the rooms, even though the Overwatch room still says Battle Royale, which is funny, but like, those are cool. It's cool, and the decorations, right? Like most everybody like puts stuff on their desks, but like the extra touches is nice. It's really cool. Just makes it feel, it just feels good.
Really rewarding to watch happen, to see my hard work, everybody else's hard work, all the players come in and all the players' faces when they first walk in the facility and see all these new things, and they're like, wow, this looks professional. Just their faces alone is reward enough.
It's me, E.T., and Helix to the table. They're both a lot better than I am. E.T. is definitely the most experienced out of us. He's competed before with Bruton Parker. He made CRL with Bruton Parker. So he brings experience, level-headedness. Oftentimes when we're in the VOD room, he's the one taking charge. He's the one who's like discussing strategy, opening our eyes up to that. Helix is just a crackhead. He's so good. He's really like, for sure the best player I've ever played with, one of the best players I've ever seen. It's just so cool to watch him work. We feed him the ball, he goes to town on it.
The starting roster is me as main AR, Peaches as a flex, Para as a flex, and Eski as main sub. Para, or Nico, he brings a lot of experience to the table when it comes to COD, especially for Concord, because he's won multiple titles as a player on Concord Esports. Chase, or Eski, he brings a lot of passion, in my opinion. Chase is a very talented player. When I tried him out a few months ago, I honestly didn't expect him to be that good, just being completely honest, but Chase is honestly disgusting. And I think he brings a lot of slaying power to the team. And Jackson, I would say Jackson's passion as well. Jackson's a new player. I kind of see Jackson as like a younger version of me, how I used to be. And I kind of see Jackson as a lot of passion and just willing to win, which is good for the team. And after scrims and all that.
In the top lane, we have Zanqueen, or Zach. He's our tank in the top lane. In mid lane, we got Drake, or Doug, as he goes by in the game. Bot lane and support, it's going to be me and Bao. Bao is the bot laner, I'm the support. And then our carry jungle, the man himself, Tyler, Rare. In terms of importance, in League especially, the team as a whole is so important. Like in bot lane and jungle, those are the ways that we are going to win the game. Like that's who we want to put the gold on the most, because those are probably our best players mechanically and just macro-wise. They know what they're doing. They know how to escape the fight with gold. And for mid lane support and top, it's just about getting them there. So those 4 players especially are just so important to how we're going to play League this semester.
Right now, we're sitting with me on tank, Shipshape and Mail on DPS. The letter M, got Emily on main support, and our new pickup, what he's changed. So his name on stuff was Arriving Pie 603. He's rebranded recently, so he's now Tetsu. His name is Jalen. Really cool guy. Really glad I got to meet him. And he's filling out the roster well. It's feeling good. Maybe we're still probably not for the rest of the fall semester. This is probably what we'll stick with just to maintain consistency, and that's fine. That's good. I like our roster. I think we're feeling balanced now. There's some things like we had to make do with things because events happen, life happens, and so you can't control and have the perfect roster all the time. But this feels comfortable. It feels like everybody's in the right place right now. Male, good friend of mine, like my best friend Liam. He was a top 500 hit scan player like season 2, so like it was a long time ago, but he still was there. Immortal in Valorant. His thing when we went over strengths and weaknesses, he kind of, and not even just like inflating his own ego, he's kind of just good at video games. And so he fits really well into that hit scan position because he can pick up the game sense and pick up like what you need to know about Overwatch, but regardless of where you put him, he's gonna be clicking heads, and he does it, and it works. Ship shape, new pickup. We've had him play on every role over this summer while we were trying to get our roster together. Really flexible, really talented player. I'm gonna be excited to see what he can do, and for you guys to see what he can do. We've got him on the flex DPS role because he's just got like such a great sense for the game and mechanical flexibility. He can click heads, maybe not as great as Liam, but he fills out just like very good all-around player. So Jalen, Tetsu, our Arriving Pie, our new pickup just in this past couple weeks, came from console. He was diamond on console, and usually you kind of get a little worried there with console transfers because that transfer from aiming with the controller to keyboard and mouse is really different. But he is integrating like really well. Like it's surprising. He's doing a lot better than I expected him to, and he keeps impressing me. He seems very coachable. He's got a lot of room to grow, and his hero pool. He's what we need right now. And Emily, been here since before I was here. Still like consistent backbone of the team, right? If I'm the head, she's right there behind me. Just a good main support, keeps us together, keeps us in line. And that's kind of a job, and she does it really well.
My duo is Jesus Flores. He is a freshman this year. He's the one that made me decide to switch from Overwatch to Fortnite. I wasn't really sure about the switch until he walked through the door. We played one game of competitive, we won. There was a great connection, great synergy, and I'm really excited to play the season with him. Our third's name is Leah, aka Skittles. She is someone that we picked up primarily for a sub position, but now we're looking into a trios tournament and no builds, and that would be her specialty. We think that she's going to thrive in that. She's a controller player, and controllers are much more viable for no builds rather than builds. So we think that the three of us can work together and pull out some really great things for the trios.
And final question, do you have a message to your competitors that you will be facing in about 2 weeks?
Don't underestimate us.
Good luck.
Don't underestimate us.
Good luck.
Pray.
So a lot of the changes that we added in over the summer was adding more faculty members in to help us run the esports program. So now we have 2 full-time assistants for me. We have our assistant director, Justin P. Smith, and then we also have my marketing and brand director, Jonathan Rowe. So we have more people as a full-time staff member helping us on the back end. We still have our mental performance coach in Angela Fideli. And not only that, now with that staff member, that we also have a GA in one of our former players, Fuji. He's now moved into a GA position for us, a grad assistant for us, so he's helping us in that role. So we have a lot of more staff members helping us to further the goal of the university and further the goal of Concord Esports. we also added in more structure and more accountability measures on our players, so our captains have more abilities to ensure that their teams are hitting their 10 hours of practice and hitting their requirements so that we can get those championship titles that we are looking for and hoping for this season. So those are some things there that we added. Not only that, we also added an esports arena that you saw during the Coalpit Classic. We also added in a brand new break room that's been split now, and like that, we moved some offices around to ensure that our players have all the resources and all the room they need to ensure that they have the best facilities that we can provide here at Concord University for our players. I'm very excited to see how the season goes with these new features and additions that we added throughout the summer.
It's difficult to say exactly what changes were made from my perspective, because for me it was just setting up my systems. But from the sounds of it, there is certainly a more corporate feel that people are talking about. I prefer to think of it as organized, but I get it.
Goal of all these benefits is to give our players and the fans a live experience. So that arena there is to give our fans that live experience, and our players get to play in front of a crowd, which means they will be more hype and more electric because they know they're playing for something more than themselves now. Before, they were just playing for themselves and their own thing. Now they know they have fans behind them, watching them in person, and they have to play not only for themselves, but for the university as a whole and their fans, which will bring them to the next level when they play up there in that arena. Also, I'm hoping that with the additional accountability measures and additional staff, we will have more time to coach our players and to ensure that our players are mentally healthy, academically well, and everything that we need to do so that we can win those championship titles by having this additional support.
When I think about Concord esports in the new era, I definitely think that we went from being like a mom and pop school to like that we're really good at one thing to like potentially just being like the bad guy, like being the school that other schools talk about when it's like, oh crap, it's Concord Week.
Hoping to add additional staff members through student workers to help make sure the stream, everything is run more smoother. We're training our student production lead, Cody, and making sure that he's ready to go to help run that more so he's not learning on the fly. He'll be more trained there and having that smoother. But the big thing is adding additional support through equipment for our production side of things. Therefore, we are running things smoother, and then we have all that equipment. We know our issues now. We know the mistakes that we made during the Coalpit Classic, and we have time to correct those mistakes before our next showcase event, so we won't have those same issues again. Also, we learned how to ensure that our PCs are ready to go and that setup intermission in between each intermission, that we can change from one from League down to Call of Duty or League to Smash. We can change in between two games much faster and more efficiently, which will save downtime so that we are not sitting around waiting like 15 to 25 minutes before the next game starts, which really did ruin some of that fan experience as there was such long downtime in between games. But we'll get that fixed out. Again, that was our first event, and we'll improve from that first event, and we won't have any of those issues in our next event here.
Are you excited for the Elevation Showcase now that it is announced? Kind of tell me your thoughts on that and what you're looking forward to.
I'm super excited for that. I'm glad I still have my job. I got concerned as well with that bait there. They didn't tell me they were going to do that bait, so I'm super excited that we did that. But I'm also excited to see what we can do against Jamie and his school down in Mars Hill. And know this one's going to be much closer. Each game is going to be much closer. We're going to be a much tougher fight than what we had against WVU Tech. So it's going to be a more intense match, even more hype, better production. Everything about it is going to be way better. I can't wait to see what our league team does to his league team. Their league team did insane last year at NECC. I guess they did really good. So I'm excited to see what our freshman squad here can do against a tough component like Mars Hill. Our Call of Duty team is going to have a strong fight against their Call of Duty team there. And then Smash, we played Mars Hill and Smash last year, and we did win against them in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate last year when we went down to their facility in Mars Hill. So I'm excited to see if our team can do that repeat in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and beat Jamie's team once again in Smash. I believe, and I truly do believe this, that we will be taking home the Elevation Trophy and winning that showcase once again here.
It is an incredible, evident thing when listening to the president speak, Austin speak, John speak, that Jamie is an incredibly important person to the history of Concord esports. And as the future of Concord esports, I'm going to show him how history should be written.